Coming up, Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers tend to fire survivors in Changhua Fangyuan Township. We take a look at how Philippines Tzu Chi volunteers care for children traumatized by Typhoon Haiyan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. First up in today's program, in Taiwan, a fire occurred in the early hours of December 23rd at a residential building in Changhua Fangyuan Township, leading to the death of a 2-year-old girl as well as injuring 3 other family members. As police are still investigating the cause of the blaze, Tzu Chi volunteers have arrived on site to comfort the bereaved family members and provide necessary assistance.
Following the blaze, 1-year-old Hong, who was unconscious, was the first to arrive at the emergency ward of a local hospital. His 2-year-old sister arrived second, but her heart had already stopped beating when she arrived. The mother, who was brought in last, suffered injuries to her respiratory system.
The girl suffered burns to 90% of her body, and when she arrived, there was no sign of breathing. When the boy came in, he had suffered first-degree asphyxiation and also had no life signs, but our medical staff did what they could to bring him back to life.
After bringing the boy back to life, doctors placed the boy in an intensive care unit for further observation. The fire occurred around 5 a.m. in this 3-story residential building when everyone was still asleep. The grandmother was on the first floor with her granddaughter, while the mother was on the second floor with her son.
I heard a bang. It wasn't loud. I thought my daughter-in-law had tripped with her child. I quickly got up, and when I did, I heard the next-door neighbor screaming that her house was on fire.
Upon learning of the news, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately arrive on site to care for the bereaved family members and provide consolation cash.
She had to wear an oxygen mask and couldn't stop shaking her body. She kept tapping her chest.
Renovating the house will be an issue because I'm in debt at the moment. I'm so worried because one of my grandchildren has passed away and the future of the others is unknown.
While the police are still investigating the cause of the blaze, Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to accompany the family and provide necessary support and comfort.
It has been almost 2 weeks since the floodwaters receded in Kemanman of Malaysia. However, streets were left cluttered with debris and waste. To solve this problem, Tzu Chi volunteers initiated a cash forward program to lead local residents in cleanup efforts. And while the majority of the volunteers take to the front lines distributing aid to flood survivors, 3 kitchen volunteers stayed behind to prepare meals for their fellow brothers and sisters.
Now that the floodwaters have receded, streets have become a vast wasteland cluttered with debris, and a bad odor fills the air. Taking after Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program in the Philippines, volunteers lead local residents in cleanup efforts.
If it's just one person doing all the work, he will soon run out of energy. But by combining our efforts like we are now, everyone is happy to contribute their strength.
As residents of Kemanman and Kampung Bukit Mentok live in poverty, the recent flooding only added to their misery. Without the means to pay for the removal of the debris, residents had no choice but to wait for help to arrive. Hence, Tzu Chi volunteers went door to door to invite residents to join hands and take part in the Cash for Work program.
Now that we're in difficulty, Tzu Chi volunteers have come to help us. Outsiders will never be able to understand this feeling.
Nak membantu. Membantu siapa? Penduduk kampung.
Residents young and old, male and female, have devoted themselves to the program. Volunteers also take the opportunity to raise awareness that their compensation is in fact an accumulation of love from around the world.
Even if you just donate 50 cents, it can help people in need. Bit by bit, it will grow and accumulate into a mountain of love.
While rebuilding their homes, Tzu Chi volunteers also hope to ignite the compassion in the residents' hearts. With everyone working together, the once messy streets are already showing signs of improvement. Inside the small kitchen, 3 volunteers are busy preparing rice and getting ingredients ready. Thankfully, they have a little helper. To prepare meals for 150 people is no easy task. Although limited in number, it is a responsibility that these 3 volunteers willingly take on. Tzu Chi volunteer Kam Chu Oi also turned her kitchen into the central kitchen for the next 2 weeks.
Because we are willing to give, we are happy to receive whatever comes. Being able to serve so many volunteers is a huge blessing for us.
Yet Fong Peng, who has joined Tzu Chi for 7 years now, was unable to join her counterparts in the relief efforts because of her health. However, she nevertheless remains the volunteer's strongest source of fortitude.
Because I'm not able to join the distributions, I volunteer to take on the task of preparing the meals. I had experienced some pain in my lower back, and 2 months ago the doctor told me I needed surgery. For about a week I couldn't walk.
After a day's hard work, each dish warms the hearts and stomach of volunteers. While cherishing the opportunity to form an affinity with volunteers, Yip's illness also took a positive turn.
Up until today, everything has been going well. I believe there won't be any huge problems because where there is will, there is a way.
Being able to give is in itself a blessing. With this pure thought in mind, the more these kitchen volunteers do, the more joyous they feel.
Tzu Chi's year-end blessing ceremonies are for family to spend some time together, as well as reflect on the past year. At the Heart Lotus Palliative Care Ward at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, nursing students sang songs to help relieve some of the stress on patients' family members, while in Taidong, a 72-year-old retired teacher continues to dedicate his life to spreading wisdom to others through teaching Jingzi aphorisms in his community.
Taiwan at the Tzu Chi Taidong Liaison Office, Tzu Chi volunteers put on a sign language musical for their year-end blessing ceremony. Among the onstage volunteers is 72-year-old Wang Wuhong, retired from teaching since 2001 and deeply involved in his community ever since.
Following the Master's Dharma and Jin's aphorisms, I hope to purify hearts. After I retired, my life became even more enriched.
The easy-to-understand plotline and lively performance transmit a message of protecting all living beings and cleanses the audience's hearts as well.
It was a performance filled with gratitude and blessings. It was good performance and will help compassion to spread to all corners.
Lighting the lamp of the heart, everyone prays on behalf of the collective good, as well as themselves. Meanwhile, a year-end blessing ceremony was held in Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital's Heart Lotus Ward, where nursing students sang songs to warm the hearts of patients in the palliative care ward.
During this time, we wanted to take the opportunity to send our blessings to our patients, their family members, and also our Tzu Chi brothers and sisters. We also handed out Tzu Chi's blessing and wisdom red envelopes to wish everyone both in the upcoming new year.
Among the day's performers was one who traveled all the way from Nantou to join the event, as his mother had received the hospital's loving care during her stay in the Heart Lotus Ward.
Last year, I was going to come perform for my mother on the Lantern Festival, but she passed away before the holiday. However, I still wanted to come thank the nurses for taking such good care of my mother.
The end of the year is often a time for families, and through blessing ceremonies, Tzu Chi's medical team not only helps to bring families together, but also provides a sense of peace for the upcoming new year.
My father was very happy and it was nice. We are grateful to Tzu Chi for holding events like this, as they have relieved some of the stress we are feeling.
Pingxi district in northern Taiwan is a popular tourist destination. However, despite its popularity, local residents still lack a nearby hospital. Knowing the seniors in Pingxi often lack the time or ability to travel to see a doctor, Northern District TIMA members conduct regular free clinics in the area to safeguard the health of its citizens.
Northern District Tima members conduct regular visits to Pingxi District, as the nearest hospital in the area is Jilong's Miners Hospital, which is 25 kilometers away, a considerable distance for most of the elderly here. Despite the rain, this local temple becomes Tima's free clinic venue.
You are not here to make money, but for a free clinic. We Shifan Liao residents don't even like to leave our homes, yet your team will travel here all the way from Taipei.
Lin Guoxi accompanies his parents to the free clinic on his day off from work, as his father's health has improved after his acupuncturist visit last time.
I'm grateful for Tzu Chi service in these remote areas. It's difficult for seniors to get about easily.
A stylist is also at the clinic to give patients a haircut. Tzu Chi's free clinics in Pingxi are also held in shops.
No, I don't mind closing up my shop for one day.
Shop owner Ke Yueqing not only happily offers her store as a venue for Tzu Chi's free clinic, but also telephones her neighbors, letting them know that Tima doctors are ready to help.
It has been more than a month since Super Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines. To make sure students can continue on with their education, the Tzu Chi Foundation plans to build 130 prefabricated classrooms throughout the disaster areas. While building 3 prefabricated classrooms at the Chunga National High School, volunteers also meet 16-year-old Abrahart, who was severely traumatized by the disaster. In the aftermath of Super Typhoon Haiyan, 6 classrooms at the Chunga National High School in Tacloban City were severely damaged. To make sure students can continue on with their education, classes are now being held in hallways.
35 degrees. 135 degrees.
Right now, many classes are held in hallways. The roof leaks whenever it rains, so we have to move our chairs on rainy days.
Especially in this class because they belong to the first section. Only help I can give to my students is the encouragement. I really try them to encourage that they should not have to be affected with Typhoon Yolanda.
Knowing the importance of education, Tzu Chi Foundation decided to build 3 prefabricated classrooms on campus. During their visit, volunteers meet 16-year-old Abrahart, who suddenly has trouble breathing before collapsing on the floor. Abrahart's mother told volunteers that during the typhoon, there was a prison breakout, with escaped inmates breaking into homes and taking advantage of female residents. To protect her daughter, the mother-daughter pair fled their home.
Were you afraid when Super Typhoon Haiyan struck?
Yes, I was extremely terrified. I remember grabbing my daughter and that we kept running. We ran for about 2 kilometers.
Following the typhoon, Abrahart has been haunted by the memories of the disaster. This is the second time that she has lost control of her breathing. Seeing Abrahart's condition, volunteers decided to take her to Tzu Chi's free clinic.
Her heart and lung are working properly. I think she is traumatized by the disaster. That's why she is having these attacks.
1, 2.
After a thorough check, the doctors concluded that Abrahart is suffering from hyperventilation syndrome, a respiratory disorder caused by stress or anxiety.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Soft music, whether it is a hymn or whether it's just a simple song,
It can bring calmness and peace to one's mind.
Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, bravo.
Okay, good.
To help Aberhard, a Chinese medicine practitioner gives her an acupuncture treatment. However, as a needle pokes her skin, Aberhard gives out an involuntary cry.
I feel really bad for her. A natural disaster not only takes away property but also leaves behind shattered spirits.
On her way home, Aberhard happily sings with her friend and finally breaks into a smile. In the days and weeks ahead, Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to bring warmth and love to all children in the disaster zone. Towards the end of each year, the Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters hosts an exhibition where the artworks of students of the Tzu Chi Community Education Program are showcased. This year, various artworks were put on sale to raise funds for Typhoon Haiyan survivors in the Philippines. But first, let's join the Tzu Chings in New York as they organize a fundraiser to help the typhoon survivors.
New York is experiencing its second snowfall of the winter. Despite the cold weather outside, here at the Tzu Chi Chinatown Service Center, a charity fundraiser for Typhoon Haiyan survivors is just starting to warm up.
One of the things that we thought would be a good idea is to not only, raise awareness for what was going on in the Philippines, but also, bring everybody together and show them not only what the great things that we do are, but also that we're one really complete family.
With a decorated Christmas tree in the center and a live jazz band, the usually solemn cultivation ground has been temporarily transformed into a fine dining restaurant in the heart of Manhattan, with volunteers whipping up a series of fancy vegetarian dishes.
We want to introduce them to a variety of vegetarian cuisine from all over the world. We want to show them that one doesn't need to eat meat every day. Vegetables are better for our health and the planet too.
A soprano sings from her heart, adding to the sizzling atmosphere. Tzu Chings also organize a lucky draw with the aim of introducing environmentalism to participants.
I always like to think that I can do a little bit more, and it's always great to actually do it or find people that are trying to do it and do what I can to help them help others.
If each of us can relay a little of our love, then all the needy people around the world will be able to feel plenty of warmth.
Meanwhile, an exhibition is taking place here at the U.S. Tzu Chi headquarters in San Dimas, California, where the artworks of students of the Tzu Chi's community education program is being showcased. Even renowned Taiwanese crosstalk performer Wu Zhaonan made an appearance at the event.
This is the first time I've seen a paper sculpture. The students did a great job, so we should definitely take this opportunity to support and help the disaster survivors in the Philippines.
Tzu Chi's tea ceremony and flower arrangement class is also embedded with Tzu Chi's humanitarian culture.
The sunflower is symbolic of humility. At the same time, we are appreciating the beauty around us. We should also be grateful for the people and things around us.
And the surrounding environment is decorated with horticultural art.
At home, we can use leftover kitchen waste, fruit peels, or expired vitamins and turn them into compost. It's good for our environment too.
On the other side of the exhibition, volunteers are canvassing donations for Typhoon Haiyan survivors. As the small bottles of love flow into the ocean of compassion, this love is sure to find its way into the hearts of all disaster survivors.
In Brisbane, Australia, Tzu Chi volunteers hold food distribution for their care recipients every 2 weeks. Some of the food are donated by a local supermarket. Meanwhile, during distribution, volunteers will take this opportunity to share environmental protection concepts with recipients, to which some recipients have taken to heart and are giving back at the local recycling station.
Here in Australia, at the supermarket, the fruits and vegetables on display are very pretty. However, for those that are slightly imperfect, their shelf life is only 1 day. In order to ensure that groceries on display are in perfect condition, a supermarket can clear up to 2 kilograms of still edible but slightly damaged fruits and vegetables. Of course, this clearing of old items includes bread of all kinds. Actually, many of the items cleared off supermarket shelves are not expired, and some supermarkets do not just throw away the food. Instead, they donate these items to charity organizations like Tzu Chi to help those less fortunate.
Supermarkets often order too much inventory, so even if an item has not expired, they will need to move it off their shelves. So a good Samaritan contacted Tzu Chi and delivered the bread to our service center so that it won't go to waste, and now we can give it to our care recipients.
At Tzu Chi's events, many volunteers are those who have received Tzu Chi's help in the past.
A lot of people and a lot of different culture, different religions, but it's very important. It's very important for match with together. All people help with together. It's very important.
How are you? Every 2 weeks, the Tzu Chi Liaison Office in Brisbane will hold a food distribution for its care recipients.
Thank you.
At the food distribution, volunteers not only hand out canned foods, but also fresh fruits and vegetables, which is enough food to last a family of 4 for 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Some recipients will take advantage of their visit to the liaison office to recycle with Tzu Chi volunteers. Claire, who has received Tzu Chi's help in the past, reciprocates by doing her part at the recycling station.
Because at home, I just sit down and then do nothing. Sometimes gardening, but here you enjoy working with different people.
Sorting through recyclables, the circle of love comes full circle. As Tzu Chi volunteers and recipients work hand in hand to clean up the planet, 1 can at a time.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of the show. To celebrate Christmas, Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers brought live performances to a local nursing home, while a volunteer dressed in Santa costume presented the senior residents with candies. Before we leave you with these images, we would like to wish you all Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.